In the first 1 week in of this course, I've learned probably 100 times more than I did in a whole year of college. Like I got one film done off the bat and I finished it. Um, I didn't finish any college short films that I was making. Even just the first 1 or 2 weeks in, was already thinking about how many things I've done wrong in many of the short films that I've actually done in my first year of college. I'm Bryan Dubis and I'm 17 years old and I'm from the UK. I've been into filmmaking pretty much since 15 years old because this is when I was going into college in the UK and I'm 17 right now. So before joining the program GTS, I did my first year of college and it wasn't really hopeful. I didn't have much of a portfolio. They didn't really teach me anything um practical. A big part of it was being with people and classmates that weren't so motivated to do the work. So we would be put into teams, but everyone would get the same rewards despite who did the most. And for example, I remember turning up to shoot with my crew in a group studio room with a green screen, and then it turned out that I was the only one that actually went on for shooting day out of my whole crew, so I had to film by myself. So it wasn't really that motivating, and we weren't really taught how to film make with using our equipment, trying to think of the locations where we're going to film in, and we were just told to be ambitious straight from the bat, and then realize ourselves it wasn't them telling us how much little we actually ended up filming of that ambitious project. We never I don't remember getting a project finished in the college course, apart from my final project, which technically wasn't finished either. I knew that I didn't want to go there for another year because of how much little I was just learning. After I left college, I was just left with kind of no equipment, pretty much zero knowledge and zero portfolio. So I really wanted to actually do something with this because I actually really enjoyed it. What made me consider trying the program GTS is I was already kind of lost hope for college, learning film in college. So I knew I was going to start learning it online by myself. I did consider actually doing some maybe online courses and see what I can learn from the resources I have online. I could also help with advertisements with my dad, but so I could learn filmmaking in that regard. But then, of course, this course came out on my YouTube recommended, and I was like, oh my days. I remember using all of D4 Darius's like YouTube videos. It's mainly what actually helped me throughout the first year of college. And I knew that something like a film school would actually help me dive into actual narrative filmmaking for a second try, really. My main concern, it wasn't groundbreaking, but it was what would it be like joining the office hours? Because, of course, I'm from the UK. It's not in midday UK time, it's midnight. Honestly, during the course, although that was a doubt, it's nothing to be of concern. I didn't have much of my own gear. I didn't think I could maybe explore all of these good things that a filmmaker can do. But looking back, that's literally one of the worst things to actually think about because being a filmmaker doesn't isn't dependent on what gear you have. You know, everything that I'm learning still, I'm using the exact same stuff I was using at the beginning, and I'm learning so much more. So all everything you learn in filmmaking doesn't come from the gear. So it's an online course. I don't know what it would be like engaging with other people. I don't know what the office hours would be actually like. I wouldn't know. I thought it was just a one-to-one, and mostly, and then you have other people feedback on your work. I don't know why, but I didn't necessarily think about it as it is when I actually went to it. When you go to it, it's like, oh, well, this is much better than it sounded like, but what it sounded like is literally exactly what I'm experiencing. All of it is really just proves to be actually truly amazing once you jump into it. I'm really not used to getting feedback on my work. I think that's one of the things that really appealed to me. I didn't actually know what it was like to getting proper feedback from actual filmmakers. One of my other concerns about the course was I thought the office hours during the week would actually be strict. So it kind of links with the idea that it was late at night. And I do tend to have plans that I don't want to miss the next day on the days that of course the office hours are at. But honestly, rather than it being like a lecture that we would be like told off if we missed it, is actually quite the opposite. It's literally just a resource for us to learn even more. Like, because of how much you learn in those office hours, you actually want to join the next one and actually kind of hate yourself that you missed it. Because although you can rewatch it, which is absolutely great, it really is a great routine just trying to join the office hours and see what we can learn again. You can also not only comment on other people's work, and it's just great seeing feedback from a lot of people at once. You know, when one people feels a certain way and the other, and maybe 3 or 4 people feel the same way, you can see that there's sort of like a really nice chemistry in film when feedbacking on each other's work. How much do I think that I learned from feedbacking on other people's work? It was probably one of the best benefits because the fact that you're with other people who are actually pretty much on your same level. When I say same level, I mean like same level in the course. You know, people are all sorts of ages. They had their maybe past history of filmmaking, but there's just the things that this course teaches you, we all lack at the beginning. And we all see that, and we all see our progression throughout it. And I especially, because I joined a bit later, going through the feedback that other people had, it really helped me do certain things with my assignment that I wouldn't have probably done before. If I didn't watch those things, like the problems that other people would be having, that I could rethink about and actually learn upon those mistakes as well. You're kind of learning from each other's mistakes rather than learning by yourself from scratch and learning on the feedback that you get. Because you're on the same learning curve in the course, you're all learning from each other. And I'd find that true even still joining on for office hours. It's because what tends to be someone had missed in their assignment is everyone else is also kind of didn't think about it in that way. It's group effort learning, really. I can't really explain it into words. You can see people's progression so much. You know, there just tends to be that, like that with one assignment, they went from here to here. Everyone has their own style in filmmaking, and of course we basically um focused on learning the basics in film. And you do see those simple things, even though people who maybe have gone to university or film at the beginning of the course, they didn't focus on those details before. Some people had problems with sound design, and some people had focus on making sure each shot has a purpose. But structured approach to everything really helped me have a sense of purpose in filmmaking. Beforehand, it was like a master art piece that you just had to hit yourself against a wall just to think of ideas for everything, every step of the process, and just somehow get like a Mona Lisa. Because I mean, I thought that's what the definition of art was, really. You know, you think of ideas and you like, it's all yeah, you've got to invoke your emotions into the art piece and everything. But this course really helped me to have a much more working approach, something that can be much more reliable, because sometimes we're not reliable. We all have our ups and downs. Sometimes you want to procrastinate, sometimes you don't. Having this sense of structured approach is probably one of the main highlights I have. Even when you feel like you want to procrastinate, well, we literally just got taught in the course how to productively procrastinate. Like, I don't know what else you want from the course if you can productively procrastinate. It was even a production timeline to what you can do every day, and it doesn't require you to do much. That's a thing. So you actually end up doing much less but much more. You know, much less in time, but you actually you'll do much more than you would have spent before the course, because things you focus on before the course that spent you hours and hours thinking of ideas, and then trying to think of who you want as actors, where you want to film, and also what you want to do for a story. It's hard to envision the whole process. You're there drawing your own storyboards and everything, but here, I mean, now I don't even have to worry about all that, and it takes me much less time. It kind of helped me really simplify my life, literally, because I used to do I would think that ambitious projects is the only way to go. And I thought that's where the fun of filmmaking was. Like, you think of a cool idea, like, oh, I want to make this like cool sci-fi movie, but it actually is learning on, like, with these short projects, you kind of find the value in short, simple ideas. And because of that, you actually start to enjoy that much more than what you actually intended to do in the first place. You try and evoke a sense of emotion and everything in just the most simplest of ideas. The thing is that there's so much less to go wrong when you do that. Just that focus on these small ideas. much less that can go wrong. What it was like trying to just go shooting right off the bat when doing the course is actually one of the main things that appealed to me, because that's literally one of the most things that I lacked when I was in college for the first year. You had to think, the pre-production time would spend 7 or 8 weeks, and then once it get to the production, like you don't really learn. I didn't learn as much as here, where the first thing you do is you go out and you just film and then learn from your mistakes, because that's actually was what sticks with you more. That's it happened to be that because we expected to go out right instantly to shoot, it actually helped me to do everything my way, of course, and see what works. And because you do that more and more, what works for everyone is quite different. But because you're going out there quite instantly and going out to film and seeing what works for you, it kind of helps you get a proper way of doing things. Let me think how to say this. Um, Going out and shooting, it actually helps you find a way of shooting that is more easier and better for you, rather than thinking of all these pre-production stuff. Because when you do small projects like this, it's so easy to overthink, and that I think going out and just shooting, it really helped get rid of that overthinking factor. There is still times where I face it. Once I actually go out and start doing it, I'm like, why was I overthinking this? Because I always had a problem with perfectionism or this, that, and the other. And I would always want to have a perfect plan before and then go out shooting. But then, of course, because reality isn't the same as what you might plan on paper, it doesn't always end up the way you expect. So the fact that we are expected to do at least something beforehand and then go out shooting instantly, trying not to hesitate, it really helps to not overthink about a project and actually get things done. Yeah, so getting feedback from Darius, honestly, is one of the main highlights for me, because although we are in an office hours of a lot of other students, it's surprising how much Darius is actually able to find something in the movie and be like everyone else being like, that is such a good point. And it's everyone something that has missed. He kind of it's really satisfying if something's not working out in a film. Everyone has small ideas, but then it's Darius like, this is your answer. He also elaborates on someone else's point. So if someone else actually notices something wrong, he's like, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And then he actually elaborates on it. And yeah, just I had another thought, but I forgot it. I mean, in the first, even just 1 week in of this course, I learned much more. I learned probably 100 times more than I did in a whole year of college. It just it's so there's so much. Like, I got one film done off the bat and I finished it. I didn't finish any college short films that I was making, so it was already great. Even just the first 1 or 2 weeks in, was already thinking about how many things I've done wrong in many of the short films that I've actually done in my first year of college. It's first week in, first office hours in, after I've finished my first film. Already talking about less is more, like trying to get as little as shots as possible in. That's probably the first rule I've broken when doing my first film in college, and I never learned it. In the course, I already done 2 short films. This is including assignments as well, and that's amazing, because it doesn't feel like it has got gone that quick. I'm already about to finish my third short film, and I can look back at them and say I learned a lot from it. It's not something I could do with previous schooling I had. With a previous schooling, I was looking back at my work and I was like, I don't want him to see that. It's like not even half finished. Whereas these projects, they're well finished, and the thing is that you actually go to the next film, learn from it, and of course with the assignments in between, it teaches you good habits. And I'm on my third film, just about to finish it, but it's just once again learning from all of these assignments and trying to cultivate it in my short films. Naturally, so it's a really sense of progression, and I can imagine once I finish like all of the assignments in this film course, unlike my college portfolio, this portfolio, I'm still looking back at it and I'm really impressed with it. But I'm already showing it to people and they're well impressed. So it's a really true sense of progression rather than a sense of non-progression. I mean, if you're on the fence of thinking about if you want to do this course, I'll tell you that it's a bargain, to be honest. I mean, I remember debating the price of it and everything, but well, it was my dad's money going, so I wasn't too worried about it. But honestly, if I were to show him all of the things I was earning, then he'd be he'd be all for it, to be honest. It's been 4 months already, and there's so much more to go. And I'm really happy about that, to be honest. I thought it was gonna go so much quicker, especially looking through the material. Um, you look through the material in how much there is actually is, but you don't take into account how much weeks you're gonna spend in each one. Is That's where I love it, is that it's not only also the assignments you have on there, but it's also having a community there all the time that you're able to ask questions about film about. I never had that sort of thing before because I'm so used to not being around filmmakers, especially because I live in such a rural area. But having a community like this forgets all the problems that being in a rural area comes with. The fact that I don't have any other filmmakers necessarily around me. I have a community where I could literally just send them a film and they'll be able to give some advice on it and feedback on it. And it's just any questions I have about film, I'm able to get. And it's just such a nice community because it's weird. It's weird how it works, but like everyone's with the same mindset. You're thinking about the same things in the same sort of way, and that's what I love about it is that we all have the same sort of intentions and motives behind movies and making them, really.